Well, thank you all for coming. It's an honor for us to host you here in Special Collections. My name is Christian Kelleher. I'm the department head here in Special Collections, and we're very thrilled to have you all here because you're here for to mark an occasion of the University of Houston Library Special Collections having the historical archive of Mr. William W. Sherrill, and we're very thrilled and honored to do that. So thank you for coming and welcome. And I want to introduce our Dean of Libraries, Lisa German, to say a few words.
Thank you, Kristen. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
We are so glad that you all can come. And we're so glad you're here, Bill. Mr. Chairman, we're so happy that you could stop by. Thank you. Mr. and Mrs. Glaw, you've done a lot to get us to this point.
Thank you.
And all of our friends and our colleagues, so thank you. We just wanted to talk a little bit about Mr. Sherrill's life and how much this collection means to us here at the University of Houston Libraries. Our collection documents the life of William Sherrill, and it will be of great value for students and for faculty and scholars researching all sorts of topics like World War II, or entrepreneurship, business education, banking, FDIC, the Federal Reserve, and the administrations of Presidents Johnson and Nixon, which that just gives you an idea of the breadth of what Bill has accomplished here. So I want to just say a couple of words about him because all of you I know him much better than I do, but it's pretty impressive when you put a lot of it all together. So Bill grew up in Houston, and he dropped out of the 8th grade when he was at Lanier High School to join the Marine Corps at age 15, only weeks after the attack at Pearl Harbor. And of course he had to lie about his age.
Exaggerate.
There we go. Much nicer. See, the longer I'm in Texas, the more I'll get those words. He fought in Guam, and then at Iwo Jima, where he was wounded, and he received a Purple Heart. And while in the hospital, he scored well on his high school equivalency test with the help from one of the nurses, and it secured him entrance here at the University of Houston. And he came to the university in 1946. I was thinking about this because you came to college at the same year my dad did as well, after World War II as well. He helped found the Alpha Phi Omega fraternity, which was a service-oriented fraternity made up of previous Boy Scouts. And he would take an active role in student government, serving in various organizations and capacities, including serving as class president 3 times. And vice president once. And he earned a bachelor's of business administration here. And then he followed his undergraduate education with an MBA with distinction at Harvard, which he received in 1952. He has done so much for the city of Houston. And he began his career in public service in the Houston government, where he served as administrator of the city court system, executive assistant to the mayor, chief administrative officer, and city treasurer. And nationally, he worked as a governor of the FDIC, and then he was appointed to the Federal Reserve, where he served under President Johnson and Nixon. That, I think, is quite an accomplishment as well. Woven all through his life is this notion of entrepreneurship. He was part of the Jamaica Corporation that developed Jamaica Beach beginning in the late 1950s. And he also led the development of Tiki Island before being called to work in President Johnson's administration. He started teaching at Bauer College in 1990, where he taught for 30 years. And he worked to found the Center for Entrepreneurship and Innovation, now called the Wolf Center for Entrepreneurship. We're so glad to have you here. The University Libraries is honored to have the archives documenting your work and your life. Service to his university, his city, and his country are a hallmark of his life, and we will steward your archives with the care and honor that it deserves. So thank you so much.
The University of Houston has meant everything to me. The two institutions that have made my life what it is, one, the Marine Corps, and two, the University of Houston. Between the two, they taught me about life. They taught me a way to live life that you can be proud of, that you don't have to make excuses about, and yet at the same time, do things, stay active. When I came back from the service, I was in the Oakland Naval Hospital. I'd been shot in the left arm. I was in Oakland Naval Hospital for 14 months. And I thought this is going to contribute to my career in the Marine Corps. You know, this is a wound, everything you need to give you advances in your career. And then at the end of 14 months, they called me in and said, you have to be discharged.
Bye-bye.
I fell through the floor. I just really went off. I now understand how that happened. When you don't see any future, you just cut it off. And I was like that, out of touch for a month, 6 weeks maybe. And then I came back. And I came back because I saw a picture of a plant guard. This guard was in spiffy khaki. He looked really good, and he had a pistol, one-handed weapon. I was good with a pistol. I thought, I can be a plant guard. I saw a future. All of a sudden, I'm back up again. I come out of my depression because I can see I can go somewhere. So I'm in that frame of mind when I run into this woman who was in the education, in charge of the education unit at the hospital, and she was crying and looking for a boyfriend, and he wasn't there. And I said, can I help you? That simple contact. She told me what her problem was. She was going to get transferred. Nobody was using her unit. Would I come and take a test? I said, sweetie, if I come and take a test, they'll transfer you to Siberia. She said, no, they don't care about the score. They care about participation. And I said, they don't care about the score. They don't care about the score. I'll get up some of the guys. So I ran around and got about a dozen guys. And we went down there and took the test, and she didn't get transferred. And we went back to our drinking. We were happy, and she's happy. And then about 3 weeks later, she comes running up and she got these papers in her hand and a big book. She says, look at these, look at these. These were the results of the test given to me that I took compared to high school students of the nation. 2 97 percentiles, a 96 percentile, and a 91 percentile. Explain that. I was guessing. I must be the best guesser in the whole United States of America. I don't know how to guess. My first thought was she jiggled a test. I said, sweetie, you shouldn't jiggle those results. They will put you in the brig for that. And she was so excited she wouldn't pay attention to me. So I knew she wasn't really involved. And finally settled down. This big book she's got. She said, you're from Houston? Yes. You going home? Yes. There's a University of Houston. How'd you like to go there? Nobody in my family ever went to college. I wasn't planning on college. At University of I'm just flabbergasted. Well, she takes over from that point, She writes the University of Houston and writes for admittance and writes the Houston Independent School District for the certificate of equivalency. She does all that. I don't do anything. I don't lift a pen. And she gets an okay from the University of Houston first, and then she gets from the Houston Independent School District, sorry, no certificate. It's not for kids who didn't go to high school, it's for kids who didn't finish high school. So you take the first 3 years, we'll give you the 4th year of high school. I said, you see, they got me, and she said, no, look at this letter from the University of Houston. Now read it carefully. I know they expect you to have a certificate, but they don't say you have to have it. I said, okay, I said, read it carefully. They don't say you have to have it. And she said, so just go home, get in line with the veterans and see what happens. So she told me into it. And I get in the line of veterans, and this guy, Mr. Wilkins, has a sign up there. He's just taking papers. He's not looking at the guy, he's just taking papers, I get to the head of the line and said, let me have your paper. I hand him paper. Let me have your certificate. I don't have it. First time he looked at me. I said, now, I know that they expect me to have it, but they don't say I have to have it. If you read that carefully, they don't say I have to have it. So he reads the letter again, he looks at me again, he reads that letter again. Well, what the hell? They don't say you have to have it. And I'm in the University of Houston. That was the difference in my life. If he'd said, I've been gone, I wouldn't have given any problem. But that woman and that guy, those two people with that limited contact, gave me the chance I needed in life. And then Mr. Wilkins got me into the Harvard Business, got a friend to help me get in the Harvard Business School. So, contacts. See, it's that way in life. If you pay attention to your contact with other human beings, you'd be surprised. You don't have to do a lot for them. People are not looking for a lot. They're not looking to work you for a lot. They're just looking for something that they can do. And if they can do something for you, they will. So I was talking to one of the students the other day about what does a student offer when you make these sort of arrangements? And I said, well, the student doesn't have anything else. They offer character. When you are in the other end of a contact, and you have nothing, you offer character for whatever they're offering. What's your character worth? All your life, you'll be asked, what's your character worth? If it's worth something, then make the deal. You can get some really, really good deals as you wait. But the University of Houston, once I went in, opened up a new world for me. So I saw the world all the other different things. That's it. Any questions? We got that then.
Thank you, Mr. Hi, my name is Mary Manning, and I'm the University Archivist here at the University of Houston. Mr. Sherrill has done so much for the University of Houston, our city, and the nation, and it's an honor to preserve his records of his inspirational life here in the University Archives at the University of Houston Libraries. Currently, we are organizing and describing Mr. Sherrill's archival collection and making it available to the public, available for researchers, and preserving it for future generations. We have created the exhibit out front, and I do welcome you all to stay for a while afterwards because John and Mr. Sherrill are going to give a little tour of the exhibit out there. Someone knows the exhibit through firsthand experience. We've created the exhibit out front, and we'll be launching a permanent exhibit online. We have already created an oral history with Mr. Sherrill. And now I would like to introduce to you the graduate student who has done all of this and has made all of this possible. He is graduating with a master's in history from U of H this spring and is the William W. Sherrill Papers Processing Intern. His name is John Brundrett.
We've still been working on the title. It's a bit of a mouthful, but we'll get there. Before I begin, I do want to mention that I just found out that Mr. Sherrill here has been nominated by the Daughters of the American Revolution for their most distinguished award, which is the Medal of Honor. I hope I got that correct. But I'd really like to say thank you to everyone that was a part of allowing me this opportunity to work with this collection. And Mr. Sherrill, I want to thank you for donating your fascinating collection. And I've really enjoyed working with it. I've learned a lot. The special collections staff members have also been a great help to me, particularly Mary Manning, Joe Luke, and Greg Yerke. It's a difficult name to pronounce. And then Emily Benson as well, who've been with me every step of the way. As an aspiring public historian, I place great value in any forms of hands-on experience that I can do, and so working here has been a great opportunity. So far, I've learned a great deal from working with this collection, namely time management, which is something you can never get enough of, especially at my age. This collection's also providing me hands-on experience with archival work, which is something that I've lacked in the past, so another great opportunity that I've been provided. With the help of special collections staff and contributions from Mr. Sherrill, I've made great headway in organizing the collection, as well as preparing the exhibit that's now displayed just outside these doors. And of course, the oral history interview that we did was a great pleasure. Mr. Sherrill, it's an honor for me to work with your collection and with you, and I would just like to thank you for allowing me this opportunity to grow as an individual and a student. Here. Obviously, Mr. Sherrill's done a lot in his life, but some of the main points, obviously, he was in the Marine Corps, right? 15 years old. That's a young man. That's a very man to join the Marines, right, and fight. But then, right out of the military, he's coming to college and he becomes really involved. So here we have one of his yearbooks. He donated all 4 yearbooks, so yearbooks from each year that he was here at the institution, and this is showing that he was class president, 1950s. This actually, he mentioned, he took the equivalency, the high school equivalency test. This was done while he was at Oakland Naval Hospital when he met that nurse, FDIC member. So he never had the opportunity to turn it down. And so that's why I really love.
Was that FDIC or
That was
Federal
FDIC.
FDIC.
Correct?
Yep.
Okay.
If you can see, my speech refusing it was trickling down my throat.